Hello viewers, my name is Andile Noashe from Timbaza Central Senior Secondary School. Welcome to the ECDOE Broadcasting Studio. Today's lesson is about the scope of paper number 1. I will be covering 3 topics, and also I will also be covering to the full understanding. The first topic is paper number 1 scope. Paper number 1 is out of 150 marks, and all the learners should be able to write this paper for 3 hours. Therefore, paper number 1 consists of 2 topics, the finance and data handling. It goes as follows. The terminology and the key concept of this finance. One is the salary, which is the monthly of an individual entity, and the wages, which is the weekly income of an individual entity. And the terminology and the key concept, there are many terminology, which means all the learners should be able to know the terminology of this concept. As I said, that salary, the wages, the VAT, pay as you earn, which is payee, which is pay as you earn, a tax taken off by your employer and sent to SARS. And also, you should have to know the VAT, the acronym VAT, which is value added tax, and the wages, which is the weekly income of an individual entity, the salary, the net income, all those key concepts that should understand. You should be able to understand it, and you should also be able to see. On data handling, you also get some, which is mean, central tendency, the mode, the range, the quartiles, all of them. You should know the terminology. How does it mean for? For example, if you say mean, it's an average value in a data, sum of all the values divided by the and the mode, the value appearing the most often in a data set. Most learners make mistakes when you to the mode, because the mode, it can be one value, it can be more values. That's why we saw also value or values that appearing the most often in data. There is a TPE, data handling, the TPE terminology booklet, which all the teachers, I also said to all the teachers that please make sure that you are doing that or photocopying for that for all the learners to check or to read themselves at home, and terminology of the key concept. Every report's findings about the markers, about the senior markers, and everybody, they say learners do not read instruction in question number 1. They were instructed to write or the letter, instead they wrote the definition. They were instructed to use the table or the scenario given, but they answer using their general knowledge. For example, if they say the question said, use this to answer this, and the learners use his own discretion to do that. And we are so lucky on mathematical literacy, because when we want the concept to be understood, we have the question which said, read this, the following, and use in this concept. They always say to you, what is this in this concept? Meaning that you should refer to the concept given at that time and explain the concept of that. Learners do not know the correct definition, because if they say what is the mode in this concept, you are not going to say this is a value or values that appear the most, but you are looking at the concept. The objective, the paper 1 scope, by the end of this section, the learners must be able to answer and attain maximum marks on paper number 1, and also improve the overall performance. If I am starting with the topic finance, what is the learner should know, should understand on the finance, right? We are saying that the finance inflation goes also with the VAT. If you talk about the inflation, every learner should understand that inflation, they know the definition of inflation, and also it will lead them to the old price and the new price. That you should also understand that, and an actual amount, which means that how much this will be, if the old price or the new price. Remember, if you talk about the old price and the actual price, you also go straight to the simple and compound interest. Remember, all grade 12 learners, the best questions to have or to understand is the compound interest. It can be compounded 3 years, it will be yearly, or it can be compounded quarterly. And then the learner should be able to understand that one. And also other topics of the finance, you are going to the tariffs. The tariffs, you've got 3 types of those tariffs, which means that you have to understand the water tariffs. You should also understand the electricity tariffs. You should also understand bus and any bus times, and also bus schedules, parking schedules. And the last one on the tariffs, everybody should understand that there will be a cell phone. On a cell phone, you regard it of 2 things that you should everybody understand that, because on the tariffs, on the cell phone, you should know there is a prepaid and also there is a state handling or having of those things. The last one will be the higher purchase, which should always being there. This person is going to buy a TV, and that amount is going to be compounded for 3 years, and how much is going to get it for that, which means the higher purchase conversion. Everybody should understand the higher purchase, because the higher purchase is the one that you are buying all the goods or everything. It always comes out with a saying, a TV, it can be a house, it can be a room divider, anything that you can buy it and use it whilst you are paying it, but you are paying using a deposit. On data handling, anything that learners should understand carefully is the central tendency. The central tendency, please make sure that you know the mode, the range, the median average, Q1, Q2, Q3, and IQR, and which is interquartile range. Remember, everything is being clearly indicated on a box and whisket. Now, the learners always knows that there are 5 things that you should always remember on a central tendency, which is the maximum point, the minimum point, quarter number 1, quarter number 2, and quarter number 3. And remember, even if you are saying anything about the data, every time and again, the data should be arranged from smallest to the biggest, in order for you to have thing that you need, quarter number 1, quarter number 2, and also the median. Now, if you are going down there, let's make an example of this. Now, you've got this question, which has been written on question number 1. All the learners, this is a very big problem that we identified on the diagnosis report, that learners didn't get the maximum point on question number 1, which we are saying that each and every learner, the maximum question on question number 1 is almost ranging from 23 up to 30. Therefore, the learner should get that 30. And remember, if you get question number 1, you are on level number 1, meaning that you still have some of the questions, which are question 2, question 3, and question 4. And question number 1 is always on paper number 1, even on paper number 2. Paper number 1 is always in a lower order question. What do you mean you say lower order question? Questions which are tricky by English, questions that need read. Remember on the diagnosis report, we always said that learners don't want to read. Let me make this example of this concept of this question number 1, which I've taken on one of these papers to have a look on that. They say, university education has become so expensive that only a few learners can afford to pay for their first year education. Table 1 below shows the 2024 first year fees for the 5 faculties in the top 8 South African university. There is this university, University of Cape Town, University of Witwatersrand, Stellenbosch University, University of KwaZulu-Natal, University of Pretoria, Rhodes University, University of Johannesburg, University of Free State. Those BA degrees, BCom degrees, BSc degrees, LLB degrees, and B English degree. Now, the learners, they've been given the scenario that they should use this scenario. Now, if you don't understand the scenario that is being given, it will be so difficult for you to answer these questions, because these questions are also being given. Now, the first question which is here, they say, state whether the data above for the five faculties is discrete or continuous. Now, the learners should be able to free and understand that one if this data is discrete or continuous. So the learner at that level should be able to know that these are numbers and all of them are full numbers, and then it becomes really an answer, which is this question number 1, which is the data 1.1.1 will always be the discrete because those numbers are 5. Coming up to now, the university education has become, starting from 1.1, state whether the data information is continuous or discrete. Then I say it is a discrete data. Write in words the University of KwaZulu-Natal fees for BA degrees. Now, the learners should always be able to go straight to the University of KwaZulu-Natal, and there is BA degrees, and definitely sure the learner should be able to write down 49,628. Remember, there is a keyword which say in words and also in the University of KwaZulu-Natal. And now what you want there is BA degree. Now the learners, each and every learner should be able to identify, write in words. What must I do? Is in writing in words. What must I do there? KwaZulu-Natal, and then I know it's KwaZulu-Natal for the BA degree. Not everything on KwaZulu-Natal, but only on a BA degree. And the answer will be that 49,628. Now, look at this question that are arranged. The third questions will always be arrange the BSc degrees fees for the 8 universities in ascending order. Now look at it. One, there is that a name which is called arrange. If you are arranging them into that arrange them arrange the BSc degrees. Now you are going to straight to BSc degrees. Now you are offering 8 universities in an ascending order, meaning that if you are coming down there, you are going to have a look on BSc degrees, starting from the arrange them degrees for the 8 universities in ascending. Ascending, it means everybody going to start from the smallest to the highest. Now, the key word is arrange the BSc degrees fees for the 8 university in ascending order. In ascending order, meaning that you are going to go to the whole BSc 8 universities, and then you arrange them from the smallest to the biggest. As everybody can see there is a smallest, that is 60, and there's other one which is coming in there, 61, and then you know that it will be 66, and 66 is 70, and after 70 is 74, after 74 is 78, and then the last one is 79. That will be the last one, which is 79. So the first one is 60. The first one is 61, and the second one is 60, 61, 66. After 66, you've got to 70, 78, and then 70, 74, 78, and then you go to 79. Now, the learners arranging ascending order and descending order are always being there for the grade 10s, grade 11, and grade 12. So it's being questionable at grade 12. So the learners should go into straight by straight. And then it will also be showing the name and the cheapest university for a BCom degree. Again, this question direct the learner to go to BCom degree. there is BCom degree. Now, if you go to BCom degree, they say name the cheapest. Now, you are going to for the BCom degree. There's a BCom degree. Now, if you say the cheapest, you are looking of the smallest number that will be there. As in this case, the cheapest there exactly is 53. That will be the cheapest in that manner. And remember, learners, there is these keywords that direct you exactly to that question. No teacher can teach you how to find a question on the scenario. Scenario itself gives it meaning to you. Hence, they say the name, the cheapest, and the other name is BCom degree. 1.5, if you go there to 1.5, they say Witwatersrand is the most expensive university for what? For LLB. Now you are going there, you go there to say you are also going to LLB. So there's the LLB. Witwatersrand is the cheapest on LLB degree. Calculate A, given that the range for LLB for 8 university is 27,610. Remember again, what is the range? Ladies and gentlemen, again, the range is the smallest, is the highest, minus the smallest. Now, you are going to the LLB. The LLB. And now, the range of that LLB is 27,610. Now, you know that if the range, they say, is 26,610, meaning that what is the highest there on that one? Because they say that Witwatersrand is the most expensive university. The highest in this case here is 72,570. Now, if you take that 572 and subtract, what is the smallest? Definitely sure the smallest is here. There is the smallest. And if you say 45,390, and then your answer will be the one which will be the more than the Witwatersrand. For the Witwatersrand, the range, you given the range as the highest minus smallest. So you go to LLB and check which one is the highest and which one is the smallest. I think it's the subtraction there. Remember, for the answering of the range is always be the best or the most, then you subtract the slowest or the smallest. Another question which is in there, again, is if the University of Cape Town has 187 first-year students doing engineering, calculate the total fee received from the student. Now you go down to say, if the University of Cape Town, now you are going to go to Cape Town, and you are going to go to University of Cape Town, has an 187 learners, first-year student doing engineering, right? There is engineering degree. Now you are going to this one. And now after that, they calculate engineering, calculate the total fee received from the students, right? Now it always goes straight that the students is 84,060. But how many of those students is 187? Therefore, hence now it's easy for the learner to look at those keywords that lead you to the answer. It's University of Cape Town, 187 students, engineering. Now, those 3 words lead you to the answer. So those answers should be equally given the word each and for giving you the correct answer. Also, the learners, the scenario itself is always have the content, and you should be focused on the scenario, listen to the scenario, do the scenario, so that you can get those maximum marks. Remember, there is no other options of getting the same marks because the marks are 2 marks, meaning that if you lose it at 2 marks, it can take you to another level. Hence, we say that if the learner is accumulated best marks on question number 1, even over 30 marks, you get that 30 marks, it means that there's question 2, question 3, question 4, you will accumulate some more. But if you didn't get the question number 1, meaning that there is no marks that you can accumulate on other questions, because the higher the question, the higher the marks, and also the higher the level that you're getting. But thanks for mathematical literacy and integration, because each and every question starting from the level 1 and upwards up to level 4. Going up again, you've got this one, another scenario. Remember, the learner should understand this scenario. All the NCS question papers from each and every province start with this question number 1, got the scenario, and then the learners will be asked according to the scenario which is being given to them. Here is the one that Nombuso has an account with Brooks Bank. An extract of Nombuso's bank statement is shown below. Remember, bank statement is also on a financial, also being there for grade 10, also being there for grade 11. Now is being questionable at grade number 10. Remember again, grade 12. Grade 12 also have to have this one. Use the bank statement to answer the question that follow. Now they say to you, explain. They are saying to us, explain what is the meant by the balance brought forward in this given context. Now, in this Nombuso statement, what is the balance brought forward? Now, the answer definitely will be concerned on Nombuso's amount of money which is being given. Okay, this one is for the bank account shown below is for 10/03/03/03, which is March, meaning that balance brought forward, it is an amount which is being there on the last day of February, and then now it is coming as a balance brought forward. If it's brought forward, it means it's coming to March. Now it's coming from February. That's what those words of saying, what is that balance brought forward? Brought forward. It is being given to brought forward. Determine the missing value of B in the bank statement. Now, if you look at B, where is B? There is B on a balance. Now, the balance on B, remember, it is go from A, debit card SPAR, there's A, there's a debit to 2,394. Also, there is this amount, which is also being the concept of the learners, the debit amount and the credit amount and the balance. Remember, this piece of credit, this one, this column of credit is the amount that coming in on the bank, and this one on the debit is the one that he bought or he pays. An ATM cash with he took it out or he pays. That is on the debit. And remember, where is going to be subtracted? Here in this side. So this amount is going to be subtracted here, and if it's subtracted to here, this will be the balance. So we always have to check that what is a credit, and this one is a credit, should be added to this one to get another one. If this one added this one, then you know the balance will be in that position. Then everybody should be able to understand that. They say calculate the total amount cash withdrawal in the statement. Now, the withdrawals on the statement, remember on this Nombuso statement, there is first withdrawal, that one is a withdrawal. And you go and have a look of that one, cash inside withdrawal. So there were two of them. And then now the question is answered, the total amount of cash withdrawals. Now it means that you are going to add those two withdrawals. If they are two, you are going to look at that, then you are going to add those two around and give the answer. Round off the salary deposited into Nombuso's account to the nearest 1,000. Now, you go and check where is the salary of this Nombuso. There is it. Salary is deposited is 42,893.76 cents. Now, they say is deposited is supposed to be rounded off to the account to the nearest 1,000, to the nearest 1,000, and then now you don't need 893, you don't need 893. It means it will be 43,000. That's what you are rounded off. It will be 43,000 rand. This amount, only amount which should be rounded off is this one, and 893 will be 1,000. That 1,000 should be added there on 42,000. Then it gives you 43,000 rand. Now, That is the way that you are rounding off there. Remember, you are rounding off according to the context. What is the context say to you? Round it off to the nearest thousand. Determine the as a unit ratio in the form of 1:2. The ratio of the service fee of 52 rand to the ratio of the cash deposit on the 13th of March. Now let's go, if everybody could go there, the cash deposit on the 13th of March. The first one, this is 52 rand. And this one is the cash deposit of 5,200. Remember, guys, if you have a look on that one, I can say as 1 as 2. Now, it's easy for you to say 52,000 as 2. 52 rand as 2, 52,000. Now, because both of them, 52, if you divide this 52, it will be by 1. And if you divide 52, that one, it will be 100. Therefore, it always be 1 as to 100. That will be the answer of that questions of determine in the form of ratio. Because 52 rand is 1. You take the same 52 rand, if you divide that by 52, 5,200, and the answer will be 100. Therefore, the scale will be, the ratio is 1 as to 100. That will be the ratio which is being given there. Calculate the difference between the highest and the lowest service fee amount in the statement. Remember, guys, once they say calculate the difference, difference is an answer of subtraction. And now they say highest service fee amount, lowest service fee amount. And the learner should always be concentrated that this is the range, because the concept range is the highest minus lowest. And every learner here should be calculated between the highest and the lowest service fee amount in the statement. Now you are going to check for the service fee here. The first service fee I can say is 36 rand, and you go to, this is the service fee number 1, the service fee number 2, service fee number 3, the service fee number 4, and the service fee number 5, service fee number 6, 7, and 8. Now there were 8 service fee, but now you are looking which one is the highest and which one is the smallest. If I have a look on this one, the first service fee is 36 rand, and the second is 380 cents. The other one is 52 rand, and the other one is 9 rand, and the other one is 3 rand, and the other one is 3 rand 50 cents. Now the biggest service fee is this one, which is 300 rand, and the lowest service fee is 1 rand 20. Now you can be able to know 350 rand, 300 rand and 50 cents subtracted 1 rand 20 cents, and you will be able to get your answer. Now let me tell you, for all the grades, especially grade 12, when you are understanding this, give your chance at least an hour or less than an hour to read the scenario as is, and after reading the scenario, answer the question, because the answer of the scenario is on the scenario itself. No teacher can teach you, and nobody can know which scenario is going to come out on examination. But whatever the scenario comes out, be able to read it. Remember your concept, because concept like highest minus lowest, which is the range. So every scenario will have its concept that you should be able to understand. Balance brought forward. All those concepts are concepts that you learn from other materials and also from other classes that you need. To continue forward, the last scenario which I also want to indicate, this one, is the scenario of a bar graph. Sometimes they give you the bar graph in double one, sometimes they give you in loose, like this one that we have. The graph below shows how the prices of different fuel types have increased between January 2019 and 2024. Remember, the increase of the fuel also have in mind of inflation, because it's the year, changing times of the year. They give us the 95 petrol inland, 14 rand 01, 22 for all those percentage, all those numbers, they give it to us, 93 petrol, everything January. And they say, use the graph above to answer the questions that follows. Remember, I am going to answer this question according to the potential that they give it to me. The scenario is in front of me. Identify the fuel type that has the second largest. Again, the second largest. Meaning that all the learners should know there is a first largest and there's also the second largest. In bar graph, the largest one will always be the graph which is so big, which means in this case, you should also be able to have a look of those bar graphs and say, aha, 95 petrol is 22, and there's the 2249, and there's no other one which is 2249. So that is identified. This is the first number one. Now let's go. After that one, which one was the second? The second one is, voila, the second one is 22 rand 17 cents. Therefore, you can know this is petrol in land. You can be able to know that. Remember, January 2019. Now you have to have a look. January 2019. If you talk about this one, this is January. This is the key concept 2019, and this is the key concept 2024. And my answer is answering January. It means I have to look on this graph. These were 2019. These were 2019. Now, which one is the biggest on 2019? Right? You go down, you say on 2019, this is 1401, and there's no other one. This is the first one on 2019. This one is 2020, 2024, and this one is 2019. Now look at this. This is the biggest one. Which one from 1401? Which one is for 1379? This is the second one. Now it's also the petrol inland. Now you can see all the second ones are in there from both 2024 and 2019 are in the same one and in the same bar. So it is 1379. The difference between the January 2024 prices and the January 2019. Then are there. Now if you have a look on that one, the last one, also of this graph, calculate the difference between 95 petrol inland and 95 petrol coast price for January 2024. Now you are looking for those big black swan 2024 for January. Now if you look at the for petrol 95 petrol inland, 95 petrol inland is this one, which is 22, which is this one. They say calculate the difference between. The difference is answer of subtraction. Petrol cost price. Where is the petrol cost price? You go there. Petrol cost price is this one, and then there is it. Now the difference between this one, 22 rand 49 cents minus 21.45, and you get the answer. Did you see that? You also find these answers here on the scenario. Write down the modal price for January 2019 fuel prices. The mode, the number that appear there, the most. Now, which one is the biggest for that one? In that case, if you look at them, that there is 1401, 1342, 1374, 1343, 1316, 1264, 1268, 1264, and 1313. Then in these numbers of these fuel of 2019, there is no mode. Remember, learners, I can't say the answer is zero mode, because zero is a number, and what kind of number is zero? Is a natural number, meaning that you always said that there is no mode. You better write it down and say there is no mode. There is no chapter that you can also be able to understand for mathematics literacy. On paper number 1, you can take Free State papers, you can take Eastern Cape papers, you can take Johannesburg papers, Cape Town papers, all of them. The first topic or the first question number 1 will give you the scenario. Then study the scenario in order for you to be able to answer all those questions. So if the learners can do the way that we are asking them to analyze the situation and give the answer, then everybody should be able to give you exactly the maximum question, the maximum marks that can be given on the question 1 on paper number 1. So the paper number 1, the mixing of the data handling and the mixing of the finance question. So on paper number 1, question number 1, there will be that scenario. So please, the learners, take your time, read the scenario. If you read the scenario as is, read the scenario and take notes of the scenario. Give exactly the answers which are in the scenario. Remember, math literacy always say to you, in the context. So all of this, I am saying we have come to an end of our lesson. You can leave your question on in the comments. Don't forget to leave the name of your school so we give shout outs. Please share, recommend, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Thank you for watching. See you on the next lesson.